What was in the box? Pandora's box. I want to talk about it for a minute here. Uh, Pandora was a gift to mankind. She was the first woman. It was given to, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. It's a very hard name. Methuselah, some kind of, he was a very important, strong figure man. That the husband he's important. The husband of Pandora. He she was given the box and told not to open it. And the reason why she was told not to open it is because Eris, the god of war, or Eris, the singular masculine spirit uh, of man, basically men who are single minded, the spirit of that man, Eris, was in the box. And Zeus knew this. Of course, he put Eris in there to lock him away forever, meaning Eris was never getting out. And Eris was crying. He was utterly destroyed. He was trapped in a box forever. He was like, "Damn, I'm screwed." He absolutely didn't know really what was going on. Now the truth of the matter is that he was actually going to be there forever. But the thing is Zeus had actually had a plan that he could get out, but he had to be sincere enough, and she would open the box. So the plan was she would open the box if he cried, and he cried for a whole year. So she listened to his cries for a whole year while Eris was in that box. And he begged her, "Please let me out, please let me out." Well, she felt him. She didn't hear him, she felt him. So the whole plan is that Zeus put Eris there, and that when his sincerity got enough, she would not be able to control her feelings because she'd want to let him out. Ultimately, she didn't know what she was feeling. She was feeling something, and it was something like, "I don't really want to see what's in that box. What is in there?" And she didn't know how to express her feelings on why was she so preoccupied with that box? Why was she thinking about it all the time, 24 hours a day? And she was. So understand that she could not give herself a break because she was being harassed and taunted in some sense by the box. It was Eris in there. "Please let me out. I'm gonna die in here forever. I won't even die. I'm gonna live forever in here. I won't even be. I'm stuck. Help me out. Get me out of here." And so when she got sincere enough, she would not be able to control her feelings anymore. She would open the box. She did. She opened the box, let him out. So he got out. When the moment he got out, he got into her, and he went right into her. She was possessed by Eris now, and instantly it was too late once he got out, and he was raging mad. He was panicked. He was hurt. He was sad. He was miserable. He had been stuck in there for a whole year, clawing at the walls. There was no windows, man. He couldn't go to sleep. He was not going to die. He didn't sleep. He was stuck in for an entire year, tortured, utterly tortured. And he couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand being trapped in that box. It was not just killing him. He couldn't even die. He was tortured. It was a state of complete distress for a year. And Zeus did that to him as a punishment. And ultimately, after he got so sincere and he cried for so long, she couldn't stand it anymore. She said, "I got to open that box and find out what's in there." Truthfully, what she had done is she had felt his sincerity got sincere. He finally got sincere. Maybe he cried a lot. Maybe he cried so long. She lasted a whole year. She opened that box, and when he got in her and he was so upset, she felt that. It was the result of being so utterly in panic. He got in her and he was not happy. He was freaked out, and she freaked out. So now the spirit of Eris is in Pandora, and she's not happy at all. She's cursed with every bad thing that came out of that box. The only thing that was left in that box was hope. Hope was left in that box, and Eris left all this hope behind because he never thought he was getting out. So he didn't have any hope. The reason why hope didn't come out of that box with Eris is because he didn't have any hope. There was no hope with him. There was no hope. Understand that hope was so far removed from Eris that it was the reason why hope was left in the box when he got out of it, because he was absolutely so hopeless that hope could not be with him. Hope stayed in that box because he had no hope. His hope was so shot to pieces, it was not a part of him. It stayed in the box while he got out and into her. The hope was still in the box, the hope he didn't have forever. But he got in her, and now he had no hope still. Now she had hope. She had some hope. Now she had the hope for the first moment in time. She hoped something could be resolved, and ultimately, because he got in, something could be resolved. But it was all bad. It was all terrible. Meaning, it was a bad, bad situation because he was utterly insane and in her and possessing her and freaked out and literally didn't have any hope because the hope is in the box now, and it was her hope. All she had left was, are we going to be able to resolve this somehow? It's too late. He's possessed her. He's got to, there's got to be something he could do. And ultimately, what he tries to do is he's got to realize first that his situation would happen, and ultimately they're not getting separated. They're going to be together, and so the husband of Pandora wouldn't be happy about that, about a spirit getting in his wife. That's not him. So now we have some kind of problem because Pandora's husband is saying, like, well, there's a spirit that got in my wife. We told her not to open that box. She's not supposed to open that box because he'll get in her. That's Eris. They killed Eris, or they took his god body away and they murdered him. Athena did it. So Athena killed Eris. In the Iliad, when it says that Eris was stabbed in the stomach by Athena, who attacked him. He went up to Mount Olympus to ask his dad, Zeus, for help. That's when Zeus had him. That's when he got captured. He lost his god body. He was just a tortured soul now, and they put him in the box. So Zeus caught Eris when Eris went up to Mount Olympus. And in the story, the basic story is he goes up to Mount Olympus, asking his dad for help. Athena, his sister, just stabbed him in the stomach, and so the god of war was dying of a wound that basically his sister inflicted upon him. And Zeus captured his son, said, you're not liked by anybody, no one likes you. And ultimately, then in the story, it doesn't tell you what really happened. Eris got captured, Zeus put him in the box, and ultimately gave it to then Pandora. Now, if you look at the time scale here, like, you'd say that Pandora wasn't even existing when that period of time was going down. But no, yes, absolutely. If the time period's off, the mythology's off. Mythology's mostly off of everywhere. Mythology's got mistakes in it all over the place. Time periods are all off and all wrong. That's about it. Why would Zeus do something like that? Because Eris needed to be taught a lesson of sincerity, and he wasn't being sincere, and he was possessing women and trying to get in them, and he wasn't treating them nicely. He was being overbearing, overpossessive, and just plain up maybe wrong. And Zeus wanted to put him in that box and ultimately let him have a chance to get back in her. That's what he was doing. Eris was a possessive god that would get into women and absolutely possess them by force if he wanted to. He was not nice about it, maybe. But ultimately, he got punished so badly for it. And it spent a whole year freaking out, helpless in that jar. He was going to be there forever, and he knew it. He was never getting out. And ultimately, he knew it. It was part of why he panicked so much, because he knew, like, I'm never getting out of here. I know it. But ultimately, Zeus gave him a chance to get out. If she's so stupid, she doesn't listen to me. And I told her, do not open that box. You're going to be, well, I'm not going to tell her she's going to be regretting it. I'm going to tell her do not open that box no matter what. Forever. And ultimately, because she did, she freed Eris. And she let him right into her. And ultimately, it was what Eris needed. It was what he wanted. And ultimately, it was what Zeus needed to do, too, because it was giving his son a chance. Eris was Zeus's son. And ultimately, he got punished so bad. And it was ultimately like, you're in trouble, buddy. And ultimately, if you get out of this box, well, I've instructed her to never let you out forever. And I didn't tell her you're even in the box. If she lets you out, it's because you're crying so hard for a whole year. And after a year, she can't stand it anymore. She's saying, he's getting sincere now. He's starting to sincere. Took a god of war a whole year to be sincere while he cried in panic in that jar, because he was absolutely not sincere. Maybe. I'm not going to say he was not sincere. I'm going to say that maybe that's the story, is that he was not sincere. And it took a whole year of torturing the god in the box until she thought maybe she get out now. So she basically let him out because it was time for him to get out. She didn't know that. She certainly had no idea what she was even doing. Well, she felt it. She wanted to let him out. She said, he's panicking. He can't stand it. He needs to get out. And ultimately, she didn't know that. She just felt like, I got to open that box. It's time to open it. And ultimately, she did. Bam. So that's the story. Okay. And so Zeus didn't do anything wrong. He ultimately put them back together. They were supposed to be with each other. It's just that they were fighting, and they wouldn't have nothing to do with each other. They wouldn't get together. The whole point was to. She was alone that whole year. She had nothing. She was lonely. Understand, because he wasn't in her. He was, but when he got in her, he wasn't nice. So what's worse, to be lonely without him, or when he gets in, he's just mean, drunk, and mad, and then abusive. Ultimately, she was lonely without him and miserable, and then just as miserable with him. And the whole point was that he suffered for a whole year. So when he got back in her, when he calmed down, Zeus would tell him, "Now you got back in her, and you better be nice. You hear me, son?" There's your story. Pandora's box. Eris was in there.